In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use scrap fabric to make these beautiful little hearts and then make them into a mini quilt. So first of all, you're going to need to collect some scrap fabric. I'm using lots of different Liberties in shades of pink, and we're going to make the little hearts using curved EPP shapes, which we've been learning about in the last video. I'm using hexiform, but you can absolutely do this with paper. In fact, I've put a download in the description box where you can get the shapes and print them out yourself and use them. The only difference with hexiform is that it's left in. And then I've been collecting up some Liberty fabric in different shades of pink just to make this really sweet heart quilt. So the first step is to baste your shapes. So if you're using the hexiform shapes, you baste them with the fuzzy side down on your fabric. And I always recommend glue basting for curved shapes. So I'm just positioning it on my fabric. I use a dot of glue to hold it in place, and then I just cut the shape out with roughly 1/4 inch seam allowance, but I usually err on the bigger side really, because it's always good to just have that bit extra. It's better to have a little bit more than not enough. Next, it's time to run a bit of glue just away from the edge on your shape and then fold the fabric over gently. If you're using the hexiform, don't push too tightly because you don't want to distort the hexiform. And then when it comes to our curved edge, I just put glue along about 1/3 of it and just gently fold the fabric over, and you'll see that it just pleats naturally. And then I do the next section. So it's always good to break a curve down a little bit at a time. And you can see the fabric pleating there, which just gives you a really nice smooth curve. And then we've just got our other straight side to do. Top tip for these shapes is to baste them all going in the same direction. So I did this one in clockwise direction, and if you do that, then everything will fit together really nicely. Now you need 2 in each fabric because you need 2 to make a heart. So that's what I've done. I've got 2 in each of my different Liberty prints, and you could use all of the same fabric if you wanted to, or anything you like really. You could use a solid colour fabric. It's entirely up to you, but you will need 2 to make each heart. So now it's time to sew them together, and this is so easy because we are just sewing down the central seam and it's a straight seam. I'm using a milliner's needle, size 10, and Wonderfil Deco Bob thread. They're my go-to at the moment for EPP. So it's just a really simple whip stitch, just going through the fold of the fabric, keeping your stitches quite tight and quite close together. When you come to the end, just fasten it off by making a loop and knotting your thread through the loop. And I always like to do this twice just to be extra sure. Now you notice there are little flaps at the bottom. That's absolutely fine. And one thing I did was I have not cut my thread. I've kept my thread tail on because I'm going to use that later to applique the heart to a backing square. Today's video has very kindly been sponsored by June's Journey. June's Journey is a fantastic hidden object mystery game set in the 1920s. It is beautifully drawn. All of the graphics have this really lovely vintage feel to them. And we follow the main character June as she pieces together the puzzle to work out who's behind the mystery of the murder of her sister. It's a fantastic game that I really enjoy playing. It helps me to relax and unwind when I'm not doing sewing. It's nice to do something else, and it really keeps your brain ticking over as you have to try and find all of the hidden objects within the scenes as quickly as possible. So I really love it for that. I also love that you can decorate your island, so you earn coins and then you can use those coins to put objects on your island, and that's really another nice way of being creative within the game. And as well as the regular game, they often have special seasonal events as well. For example, throughout March, June's Journey is actually expanding its universe with its first ever novel. Death wasn't invited by the USA Today best-selling author Carleen O'Connor, so if you love cozy mysteries, this could be for you. It takes place in 1922 in Paris and tells the story of June's close friend Jack being framed for murder. So throughout the whole of March, you can enjoy special events in June's Journey that really take you deeper into the Parisian atmosphere. June's Journey is completely free to play. You can use the QR code that is on the screen to download the game, or the link in the description box below. I think you'll really love it. It works on iOS, Android and PC as well. Thank you so much to June's Journey for sponsoring today's video. So I have cut 9 backing squares at 4.5 inches square each one. I've done them in alternate colours, so I've got a soft pink and an off-white, and I'm just arranging them in an alternate way just to add a little bit more interest. You could do this too. You could have every square a different colour, or you could have them all the same. It's entirely up to you. I'm now just laying out my hearts to get a really pleasing arrangement. So I'm trying to get some balance. So some of them are darker or brighter or more intensely pink than others. So I'm just trying to lay it out in a way that looks right to my eye. And now it's time to sew them in place. So to do this, I just fold the square in half, lengthways and widthways, to find the centre. So it's not the most precise method, but it's just the way I do things, and it works for me. But you could measure this out if you want to. And then what I'm doing is positioning where the corners are, where it changes from a straight edge into a curved edge, and positioning those on the line that goes across the middle, and I'm positioning that central seam down the centre of the heart on the fold line that goes through the centre of the square vertically. You could pin in place, but I'm using the Sew Line glue pen for this and it works really well. Using the thread tail that I left attached to the heart, I am now going to just applique it to the backing fabric. So I'm just making little stitches that go into the backing fabric and come out into the heart itself, just to keep everything secure. The trick to making your stitches virtually invisible for this is to go down in the backing fabric directly opposite where you came out in the heart, and that way the thread is taking up as little space as possible on the top of the fabric. The longer stitches are on the underneath, so it hardly shows on the top at all, especially if you use a thread like this wonderful Deco Bob. So now it's time to have a look in my Liberty fabric collection to find a fabric that would be perfect for the sashing between the heart blocks because they are all stitched down on their backing fabrics now. So I've chosen this print to go in between. I'm going to cut sashing that is 1 3/4 inches wide. I'm going to cut 12 strips that are 4.5 inches long. They will be the vertical sashing strips, and I'm going to cut 4 strips that will be the horizontal ones. I always cut them a bit longer than the rows will be and then trim them off afterwards. I will leave all of the details in the description box below so you can make your own too. I absolutely love sewing on this sewing machine. It's so relaxing. I just find it completely different to using an electronic sewing machine. It's just really calming. It suits me. It's at my pace, just going slowly, just making something and enjoying every single step, every single stitch. Really, that's what this sewing machine does for me. I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it like I do when I first started using it. I was so surprised by how much I just really love this slow, methodical way of making things. It just feels right to me. So I'm just joining my hearts into rows with the sashing in between, and then once I've done that, I give everything a really good press. Once the rows are complete, it's time to add the sashing in between so that I can join the rows to the sashing and then to each other to create the final quilt. So there's 2 rows of sashing in the middle between the rows, and then there's one at the top and one at the bottom too. And here's what it looks like when everything has been joined together. It's the finished quilt top, so now all that's left to do is to layer it up with some backing fabric, some wadding, pin it all in place and do a little spot of hand quilting. Now I've not got my quilting pins with me, so I'm actually just using ordinary pins, which I wouldn't really recommend. It's alright for a mini quilt, it's not going to do any harm, it's going to hold it enough in place for what I'm doing, but my quilting pins were at home and I just didn't have enough time to go back and get them. I just wanted to crack on with what I was doing. I'm just using my favourite thread for hand quilting, which is Wonderful Fruity. It's a 12 weight cotton thread, but it's variegated, so you get different shades. And the one that I'm using is different shades of pink, which is just perfect for this. I do sell it on my website, so I'll leave a link to that in the description box below as well. I'm just doing a really simple running stitch using a chenille 24 needle. That is my needle of choice for this sort of stitching. I'm just echoing the heart, so I'm just doing a row of stitching just about an eighth or a quarter of an inch away from the edge of the heart, just to echo the shape. And then after that I will do just a straight line right down the middle of each of the sashing strips. And once all of the hand quilting has been done, I then just trimmed down the edges of the mini quilt so that they were all the same. And then I just added a really simple solid pink binding, which I just think framed it all really nicely because we've got a lot of pattern fabric in the quilt. So adding this solid pink binding to the edge, which is quite thin, just really framed it nicely, I think. And there, the mini quilt is done. This was such a nice way to use a variety of different prints, and I just think it's a really nice decorative piece which will look lovely on the wall. You could, however, go bigger with this. It would be very easy to just keep expanding it out and make maybe a lap size quilt or something like that. If you want to make your own, I'll leave the details of where you can find all of the measurements and everything you need in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon with the next one. Take care. Bye bye.